At the beginning of the story, we see a powerful man named Finist and his loyal disciple, Andy. The two of them are deep in a remote forest. Their mission? To capture a massive wild boar that's been destroying villagers' crops. The people are desperate. This dangerous animal has terrorized them for far too long. But Finist? He isn't afraid. He looks at Andy and says, "Everyone calls me a hero. But what if I can't control this boar? What happens to my honor then?" He picks up his weapon and attacks. But his strikes do nothing. The boar barely flinches. Then Andy jumps in to help. He stabs the boar right in the nose, and that's when everything goes wrong. The boar wakes up. Enraged. It charges straight at Andy. But Finist steps in to stop it. He tries with everything he has, but he can't hold back this beast. With one powerful move, the boar sends Finist flying through the air. And somehow, Finist lands right on top of the boar. Andy throws him a rope. Finist grabs it, wraps it around the boar's wings and horns, and suddenly, he's in control. He starts flying the massive animal like it's a kite. Soon, he lands in the village. The villagers see Finist making this terrifying beast dance to his tune, and they explode with cheers. Everyone is praising him. But then, a witch named Baba Yaga steps forward. She says, "If you're so strong, prove it. There's a giant rock blocking the water in front of my house. Move it." Finist laughs. "I've faced far greater challenges than this," he says. He starts boasting about all his heroic deeds. But Baba Yaga cuts him off. "I won't believe it until I see it with my own eyes." Everyone starts laughing at Finist. Humiliated, he storms off in rage. His pride is shattered. Instead of praising his bravery, people are now mocking him. He wants revenge. He wants to prove his strength once and for all, so the applause will come back. Then Andy gives him an idea. He says, "There's a tower nearby. A demon has captured a beautiful princess and locked her away. If you kill the demon and free the princess, your name will echo across the entire world." Finist makes up his mind. He will fight this monster. As night falls, Finist and Andy head toward the tower. When they arrive, they find other warriors already there. These men also want to defeat the monster, rescue the princess, and marry her. They all ask Finist, "If we fight together, who gets the princess?" Finist replies coldly, "I don't want the princess. I'm only here for the fame." Then he turns to Andy and whispers, "I'm going to kill this monster alone. I'm not waiting until morning." And with that, he enters the tower through a window. Inside, he finds the beautiful princess. She looks at him and asks, "Are you going to die too? Why have you come?" Finist says, "I've come to save you." Hearing this, the princess runs away. Finist grabs her hand to stop her, but she pulls free and hides behind a pillar. And then, something attacks Finist from behind. A snake. Finist fights it off. But then he realizes, this is no ordinary snake. It's the tail of the demon he came to destroy. He attacks the monster with everything he has. But nothing works. So Finist cuts off the monster's tail, then grabs the snake's mouth with both hands and tries to tear it apart. But as he pries its jaws open, the snake spits venom directly into Finist's eyes. And just like that, he loses his sight. He is blind. But Finist refuses to give up. Groping with his feet, he finds his weapon, and attacks the monster again. The monster disappears. Finist swings wildly, blindly attacking, until the entire tower starts to crumble. The noise wakes up the warriors outside. They rush to the rubble. They don't see the princess. They don't see the monster. All they see is Finist, trapped beneath the debris, slowly trying to get up. Andy realizes Finist has lost his eyes. He takes him away. Finist is consumed by rage. His blindness has shattered him. He becomes irritable, bitter, and broken. Andy goes to Baba Yaga for help. He tells her everything that happened. But Baba Yaga flatly refuses. "Finist didn't help me when I was in trouble. Why should I help him?" When Finist hears this, he sinks into deep depression. Time passes. Andy stops coming around as often. Finist barely manages to go out and buy food. But even then, children steal his fruit. His money is running out. One day, Andy shows up again. Finist explodes. "I have no work for you anymore," he says. Go find something else. Heartbroken, Andy leaves. More time passes. Finist runs out of money completely. Soon, he is eating rotten fruit from the market. And then one day, he can't even find rotten fruit. So he picks up his empty basket and heads to the market anyway. And that's when everything is about to change. Finist just sat there, broken and blind. Then, Baba Yaga happened to pass by. When she saw him in that pitiful state, she took pity on him and gave him some food from her basket. But before they could even speak, the village came under attack. Robbers. Finist couldn't see anything. But he could hear everything. The screams. The suffering. People dying all around him. Then the robbers came closer. He heard their footsteps, and he fought back. Blind as he was, he took down 2 or 3 robbers using only the sound of their movements. He was fighting purely on instinct. Another robber threw a rope at him. But Finist caught it, yanked it, and pulled the man off his horse. Then he beat him down. But while he was fighting, more robbers attacked him from behind. And Finist collapsed. Unconscious. When he finally woke up, he was on a ship. His neck and hands were tied to a wooden beam. Baba Yaga was there. And several other villagers. Then, he saw Andy. Andy was walking around freely, like he owned the place. Baba Yaga asked him, "How are you roaming around freely?" Andy replied, "I convinced these bandits that I'm on their side. I told them I'd help them. I'll also keep an eye on the villagers for them." Then Andy pulled out a golden lamp he had stolen from the bandits. "I'm going to sell this for a lot of money," he said. But as he wiped the lamp clean, a genie emerged from it. Everyone froze. Shocked. Terrified. Downstairs, a bandit heard the noise and came running up. But the genie killed him instantly and threw his body aside. Then the genie turned to Andy. "What is your wish?" Andy panicked. "Go back inside the lamp," he shouted. And the genie obeyed. But then, a pirate came from above. He held a sword to Andy's neck and took the lamp back. Within a short time, the ship reached Arabia. All the captured villagers were lined up to be sold as slaves. Then, a masked man arrived. He bought Finist, Baba Yaga, and Andy. He took them to his palace. When they arrived, everyone was stunned. The palace was enormous. And there were robots working everywhere. But this was supposed to be a very old era. How was this possible? Then the man removed his mask. He said, "Don't be surprised. I'm a scientist, and I built all these robots." He explained that he had created many machines to make human work easier. Finist told him his story. How he was once a great warrior. How he went blind. And how his life became a living hell. The scientist said, "I've heard of you. And I've heard of Baba Yaga too." Then he revealed something surprising. "I buy slaves, and then I free them." When it was time for dinner, the scientist ordered his robots to bring food. Everyone was amazed. They thought it was magic. But the scientist said, "It's not magic. I've been working on these inventions for the past 500 years. Baba Yaga gasped. 500 years? Then how are you still so young? The scientist replied, "I created a chemical. Drinking it keeps you young forever." Then he took the 3 of them to his lab. Finist asked him, "Could I drink that chemical to restore my sight?" The scientist shook his head. "That won't work for your eyes. But I have something else." He gave Finist a pair of special glasses, and suddenly, Finist could see again. The scientist believed that with science, miracles could be achieved. But he also believed that magic harmed the world. So he built a machine specifically to destroy magic. To prove his point, he grabbed the lamp the bandits had stolen. Baba Yaga warned him it was dangerous, but he didn't listen. He rubbed the lamp. The genie appeared. Then he turned on his machine. It sucked the genie inside, and destroyed it. "See," the scientist said proudly. "My invention destroyed the genie." That very night, the scientist learned about a demon living on a nearby hill. A monster that was harming innocent people. He said, "We have to catch it." When Finist heard that this monster had a lion's mouth and snake-like limbs, his blood ran cold. He knew immediately. This was the same monster that had blinded him. Finist said, "I'm coming with you. I want revenge." But the scientist didn't want to put his life in danger. Finist looked him in the eye and said, "You helped me. Now let me help you." The scientist gave Finist a special gadget. If placed near the monster, it would trap it inside a chemical prison. That night, Baba Yaga snuck into the scientist's lab. She tried to steal the youth chemical. She wanted to drink it so she could stay young forever. But the scientist caught her. He said, "If you help us defeat the monster, I'll give you some of that chemical myself." The next day, as they all prepared to leave, the scientist showed them his spaceship. And that's when the Rayol journey begins. But that's coming up next. The scientist taught them all how to operate the spaceship so they could reach the monster quickly. But before they left, he gave them a strict warning. "I want the monster alive." He had also upgraded Finist's weapon. Now it had a special button that could do things no ordinary weapon could. They boarded the flying saucer and began their journey. Soon, they reached the mountain where the monster lived. After searching for a long time, Finist finally found the monster's footprints. The tracks led straight into a dark cave. Finist placed the scientist's machine right outside the cave entrance. He knew he couldn't kill the demon, only capture it. So he calmly walked inside, challenged the demon with his weapon, and then ran back out. But as he exited, his head smacked against a tree branch. He collapsed. Unconscious. The demon came out of the cave, ready to attack. Baba Yaga didn't hesitate. She activated the machine just in time. Chain shot out from inside, wrapped around the monster, and pulled it in. Then she pressed the lever again, and the machine shut down. The monster was trapped. A short while later, Finist regained consciousness. Together, they started the journey home. The trip was long, so they stopped for the night to rest. Then, Finist heard something. A girl's voice. Coming from inside the cage where the monster was trapped. He tried to open it. Baba Yaga begged him to stop, but he wouldn't listen. When the cage opened, inside was the same beautiful princess from the tower. Baba Yaga's face went pale. "That means the princess is the monster," she whispered. "Letting her out is too dangerous." But Finist refused to listen. He had fallen in love with her. As he reached out his hand, Baba Yaga pushed him away and slammed the cage shut. The princess explained, "I didn't take your hand because there's a curse on me. If any man touches me, I turn into a monster." Tears filled her eyes. "I am not evil. I don't harm anyone unless they attack me first. That's why I live alone in these mountains. But humans won't even let me live in peace." Then the scene shifted. We saw the scientist stealing a farmer's cat. The farmer begged him to return it. "She doesn't hurt anyone," the farmer pleaded. At night, she glows and lights up everything around her. But the scientist didn't care. He placed the cat under his machine, a device that could absorb magical powers. It sucked the magic right out of the poor creature. Then he stored the resulting chemical in his safe, where he had already collected a huge number of similar chemicals. Back in the forest, the princess and Finist had fallen deeply in love. But Baba Yaga and Andy captured them and dragged them back to the scientist. When they arrived at the palace, they stood at a distance and watched. What they saw horrified them. The scientist was extracting magic from a magical bird, and injecting the chemicals into his robots. That meant, his robots weren't inventions at all. They were magic dolls. And his long life? Also powered by stolen magic. The same magic he had stolen from innocent creatures. Baba Yaga stormed up to him, furious. "You liar! These robots aren't science. They're magic. You're killing innocent animals just to stay young forever." The scientist's face twisted with rage. "Anyone who learns my truth will not survive." Baba Yaga and Andy ran in fear. They freed Finist and the princess, knowing the scientist would do the same to her. The princess revealed that she knew the scientist. He had been hunting her for a very long time. And then, he arrived. He gathered all his robots so no one could escape. He turned his machine on the princess and began sucking out her magic. Finist tried to save her, but he was tied up. He couldn't reach her. But he grabbed her hand anyway, and instantly, she transformed into the demon. As soon as she transformed, she broke her chains and fled. Baba Yaga and Finist escaped too. But the scientist's men chased after them. Yaga used her magic to fight back. She threw watermelon seeds at them, which suddenly grew into giant watermelons, blocking their path. The scientist brought out his massive robot. He couldn't let Finist and Baba Yaga escape now that they knew his secret. Andy tried to reason with him. "We have enough magical chemicals already," he said. But the scientist refused to stop. The giant turtle robot emerged, and the entire castle began to crumble. The scientist climbed inside the robot and started chasing Finist and Yaga, firing cannonballs at them. Finist shouted to Yaga, "Distract him. I'll climb on top of him." And that's when the final battle begins. Finist shouted to Yaga, "Let me try to flip it upside down. Because once this giant turtle is turned over, it won't be able to get back up." As soon as the robot came in front of Yaga, it activated its machine and began sucking the magic right out of her. She started aging rapidly. Her skin wrinkled. Her hair turned gray. She looked ancient. Finist's heart broke for her. But while she distracted the scientist, he climbed on top of the turtle. When the scientist saw this, he stretched out the turtle's long arms, trying to shake Finist off. Finist held on tight, but his glasses fell off. And just like that, he was blind again. Baba Yaga noticed. Even as her own strength faded, she started guiding him. She told him where to move, where to strike, how to fight without sight. Then, the princess arrived, still transformed into the demon. The scientist froze in terror. Finist grabbed a chain and wrapped it around the turtle's neck. With everything he had left, he flipped the giant robot onto its back. The turtle crashed down. Its shell cracked open. All the magical chemicals inside began spilling out. The scientist tried to escape using his magic wings, but they failed him. They wouldn't work. He fell straight into the pool of magical chemicals, and died. Meanwhile, Finist collapsed. Exhausted. Unconscious. The princess saw him lying there, motionless. Tears streamed down her face. She was terrified she had lost him forever. She had truly fallen in love with Finist. And then, something miraculous happened. Her tears fell onto Finist's blind eyes. He suddenly woke up. His sight had returned. Finist looked at her and confessed his love. He promised to stay with her forever. But the princess shook her head sadly. "Because of my curse, I can't live with you." Finist was heartbroken. He returned to the village with his friends. But he couldn't stop thinking about her. He was lost in memories of the princess he loved. Meanwhile, Baba Yaga was still searching for a way to regain her youth. And in her research, she found something else. A way to break the princess's curse. She rushed to Finist, overjoyed, and shared the good news. She explained that the curse had been placed on the princess unfairly. It was never her fault. And now, their next mission would be to break that curse. But that story will have to wait. Because it will be shown in the next part of this movie, which hasn't been released yet. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.